All right, what's up, everybody? This is Los Angeles Chronicles, episode 15. Welcome back. We got a special guest. We're recording live in Sylmar. Special guest today, Jason Ellsworth. Jason Ellsworth from New Jersey, Burbank, resident of Burbank, California.
Burbankian metal god.
Hey, man, this guy does everything. So, a quick synopsis: he's an actor, writer, rapper, film critic. What else, man?
And I make money at none of them.
And he's...
I've been an MC, a stand-up comedian, a writer, actor, producer, host of an internet show. Yeah. Malcolm's right-hand rapper man.
This guy's kind of a big deal. So I've known this guy like 16 years. And
17, I think, coming up on to 2007. I think I met you in 2008, though. I moved out here in 2007.
Yeah, we're going to get into some history and his whole like career and what he's up to now. And it's going to be fun. So check him out. And like I said, this is Los Angeles Chronicles. This is the dopest podcast in LA. And what I just said, I'll challenge anybody to come out with me because this is real. I'm talking about real people, real insights, and then I always keep it real. So there you have it, man. So we're gonna talk about his journey in LA, but right now I want to start off with some questions to ask you.
Let's do it.
Hey, man, I've been wanting to ask you this for like a month. Who would win in a fight, Uncle Joey from Full House or the college chick from Home Alone, first Home Alone?
Which chick from Home Alone? The
119212. The Buzz. Don't be.
Oh yeah.
Like she's.
Oh, she's gonna kick. Uncle Joey is soft as hell, man. Joey is just a comedian. That boy has just got nothing but a Hawaiian button down and a woodchuck puppet. That girl is gonna beat his ass. You saw she took no shit from Buzz. She ain't taking shit from Gladstone. She's gonna whoop his monkey ass.
Okay, you got the first question right because that was the right answer.
Come on, man. Who would think Joey Gladstone ain't know? That's light work for that.
It's like she kicks ass.
What is her name in the movie?
Oh, no,
Heather.
Heather. I'm a fan of her. Like she kicked ass in the.
I'm pretty sure it's Heather.
Yeah, like
because when the mom gets in the van, she says, "Heather, did you get a head?" I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, like. Wow, man. I mean, yeah, that's like marriage material right there. So. Buzz, don't be a moron. And
Buzz, don't be a moron.
Yeah, so
yeah, I'm totally getting her over Gladstone.
Yeah, but kind of visualize the fight, like just whooping Uncle Joey's ass, man, with the whole.
I picture her getting in one of those
don't hurt me,
those moods of fury and just unleashing on him.
So real quick, we're in that Thomas Motel again, like we're the episode with me and Gabriel.
Paid for by the hour, folks. Paid for by the hour. We are not fucking though. We're doing podcasts.
So they charge by the hour, and like. Again, this hotel is where people go to get busy, so like, but we're recording the podcast here, so actually
it's real shit.
Yeah, so about to record some rehearsal space, but they wanted too much, so this is the best deal right here. So yeah, okay, what movie is this from? Get Back Here, God Damn It.
Get Back Here, God damn it! That is the River's Edge. The iconic Crispin Glover, forgive me, in River's Edge. Malcolm Tyler introduced that one to me. And what, of course, if Conrad ends up listening to this, we have to say, you don't understand a goddamn thing, do you? Jamie is dead. Now, I happen to like Jamie, but John is still alive. Godly. River's Edge.
Yeah, correct. Again, River's Edge, 1986, directed by
Damn, is it 86?
Tim Hunter, written by Neil Jimenez.
You with the facts.
Yeah, Hemdale production, and I didn't know until later that was same production company was the Terminator, so it's the same kind of like Terminator vibe, and then the River's Edge. I'm a fan of both of those films, so they both came out in the same era, and they filmed that in actually in Foothill. In L.A., you know, where the liquor store we went to take a picture with the liquor store. Yeah, so then it's known as Foothill, but it's also like Sunland, Tahunga, outside of L.A. And we delivered there, and then that was the trip. So then I worked with the guy that actually, he went to the same high school as the River's Edge where they filmed the Keanu Reeves. And
you must have been so excited, man.
Yeah, I was telling him, I was flipping out about that movie. He's like, dude, I got to see that. And I sent him the link to the trailer to the...
Nice.
So, He went to the River's
Spread
Edge.
the word.
Yeah, River's
Spread
Edge.
the word. Malcolm spreading the gospel of the River's Edge.
Yeah, he went to the River's Edge high school, and the high school I went to, they filmed All About the Benjamins and Puff Daddy music video.
What?
They filmed that and some Foo Fighters video, and they also filmed Clueless, the scene when they're both on the cell phones with
Man, you
like-
LA people and your cool ass factoids you grew up with.
Yeah, I went to that school, and actually System of a Down went to that high school before they made it big with Rick Rubin and them, and so that's a few fun facts about that school. Actually, no, the Saved by the Bell, the early years when they were younger, right? The first with Haley Mills, Saved by the Bell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the
Miss Bliss. It was
Yeah,
called Good Morning Miss Bliss.
yeah,
I
the
think.
that was at Grant High School, and you can tell, you could see the background of the orange doors or whatever. The Grant Lancers were the team or whatever, but you could tell they would film the outside of the school and then go into those monologues of Zach Morris, like, "Hey, today I did this."
Oh, I love these type of factoids, dude. This is why I love being out here.
Okay, so what music line is this? These are lyrics from a song that you know. So
Okay.
these are easy questions. I'm just
having fun.
no, I just made this up like when I was at work, and then I wrote it all down.
Okay,
yeah,
let's do
so
it.
then
I hope I don't embarrass myself.
okay. And very later, I have learned to accept some friends of
Very
ridicule.
later
My whole
I
existence.
learned to
Shut up,
accept-
dude. So, but my whole existence is for your amusement, and that is why I'm here with you.
That is why I'm here with you. Paper cuts, motherfucker. Bleach
Yeah.
track 6. Paper cuts.
Okay,
Sick ass, sludgy, supreme
Do you
89
remember,
grunge metal.
Do you remember that one time at your old, was it a house or apartment? It's the first place you guys lived in North Hollywood, or the
Agnes
first place
with
you and
Conrad?
Conrad? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you remember, like, I randomly said, "What about that song Paper Cuts by Nirvana?" And then you flipped out. You're like, "Dude, that's so heartwarming that you knew about that song."
You know what's so what is so funny about that? You know what's so friggin' funny about that, Mal, is one, I'm sorry to say I don't, but that sounds like me. And the reason that's so funny is
You were
because-
high when you said it.
Okay,
So I don't remember.
I'm high most of the time. But there's some dude who's into guitar and metal. He's like 21 years old at AMC at work, and we were talking about
you
Nirvana.
work with now, right?
Yeah. So we're talking about Nirvana, and he's a young kid, and I'm expecting him. He's like, you know what my favorite Nirvana song is? And I'm expecting some cliche answer. He's like, I think my favorite song is Paper Cuts. And I was like, motherfucker, are you serious?
Oh, he said that to you?
Yeah, he's like this 21-year-old kid. And I'm like,
Okay, yeah,
so
no, that's dope.
You're
Yeah,
really
like-
about your shit then. If you're saying your favorite track is a deep cut off fucking Bleach, come on, dude. I was like, and I told him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not giving up on kids now.
was like-
Actually, have you seen the way kids dress with the baggy pants now? Like
you were
in,
telling me that they're bringing the 90s like
Have you seen
Jenkos.
kids-
I haven't seen it.
I've seen it around like all the time, and you haven't seen it.
You
so
were telling me that, but no.
like the
No,
'90s
dude.
skate scene, like with the
Yeah?
baggy, like they're
Yeah,
giving it
so
up. Jesse's seen it too. So
This
yeah.
motherfucker said Paper Cuts, and I was like, I will remember you forever.
Yeah, so you work with them, and yeah.
He's a young kid, so maybe the youth is okay.
Yeah, I work with the young generation too, but they're talking about this whole Kendrick Lamar and Drake thing, and I tried to listen
I love
to
Kendrick
it. So,
Drake and fuck off.
yeah, I mean, I'm
Team Kendrick.
Yeah.
You know I fucking hated Drake since he came out.
So then that's big. So what else? No, I forgot what I was gonna say, but yeah, it's cool. Bleach and 1 second.
Bleach.
Okay, what line is this from? Most cats think they got 9 lives, and then finish the rest of the. I got you on that one. Okay, it starts off like most cats think they got 9 lives. What's the rest of the lyric?
Oh, damn it. I knew you were, and it's right in my brain immediately. I recognize it, and I can't.
It sounds familiar, right?
Is it
Like,
Wu? Is it Wu?
no, it's not Wu-Tang, but it sounds on that Wu-Tang level vibe or
Cats
something.
think they got 9 lives. Can you give me the next word after lives?
Well, the next word is 9 lives, but
Most cats think they got 9 lives, but
I think it's the way I said it. Like you wouldn't, because I didn't deliver it like how it's supposed to be.
Deliver it how it's supposed
yeah,
to be.
I just said it like
Deliver.
like Kurt Loder would say. I'm a big Kurt Loder fan. This is actually like he's one of my influences now for like interviewing.
That's of course that's such a
Yeah, like, 'cause
that's
he's
such a
like,
Malcolm
you would
thing
never-
to say.
Yeah. Do you want? Or you give up yet, or what?
I got 9 lives. I know when you say it, I'm gonna be like son of a bitch because it immediately.
Actually,
triggers-
before I tell you what this is, real quick, this episode is dedicated to my man Conrad Lawson up in there in Philly.
Fucking Lawson.
Yeah, awesome guy.
The
so
GOAT.
I want to dedicate this episode to him for being such a cool guy, man. So that's actually the lyrics to Steve's verse off of Unleashed Anger. Pharaoh, but
damn it.
Yeah.
How
okay,
embarrassing.
So
my own
like,
crew's verse.
Yeah, so it sounds like most cats think they got 9 lives, but if I stab you 9 times, then you gon' die.
Damn it. And as I predicted, once you said the line, of course
if you'd say it like that, then you would.
Damn it.
I kind of camouflaged it, right? God damn it.
Shout out Steve. Shout out Pharaoh.
Shout out to him too. Miss that guy. So then, what movie is about 2 grunge teenage girls that murder an old lady?
Fun.
I gotta like mix and master this shit because you're too loud.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sure you're going through what Mateo has a problem with on the show every week, which is do you want me to? I can step back if you want. Step back some.
Can you get like to the mic kind of like me, but
get closer like this?
What I'm gonna do is I'll kind of like control like
this is natural when my fucking voice. You're now in Mateo's hell that he has to do on Majama Jams every week.
Yeah, maybe I should call him and see like any tips or something because
I'll try to stay close to it and I'll try to not get too booming.
Okay.
I promise I can do it.
No, okay, so the film's called Fun, and then
dude, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And Malcolm completely introduced that to me.
Yeah,
I did not know of it in beforehand.
I recommend that. Yeah,
I absolutely loved it.
If you like screwed up
teenage
movie, yeah,
it was a play first, right?
That was a play. It was. I
feel like it might have said it was a play.
I think
first.
It was written by some guy named Raphael something, but it was a low budget 1994.
And
Renee Humphrey and Alicia Witt,
the girl from Mallrats, right?
Yeah, Mallrats,
the sex research.
Yeah, and I could relate to it on the teenage level or the emotional level. From it was well done and it had like a lot of original elements to it. So, and a good independent film. And then it was actually okay. They're about to they go cause havoc around the valley, and I like how it was filmed in L.A. or the valley or whatever, and with the mountains in the background, with the flannel shirt and grunge shirts. And
I was really into it.
Yeah,
man.
They had like crushes on Axl Rose, and it was kind of it was 90s.
You usually don't steer me wrong with the movie movie suggestions.
But would you ever watch a movie about like teenage girls that were like about helping people out? Because I was always watching that, I was like, why do we watch these screwed up movies? I mean, would you watch?
Because it's not entertaining.
Yeah, like. Is there ever a movie about like people being good and like that nobody would watch it?
I mean, it's kind of our beloved Full House is kind of like that.
It's Full House.
Full House always has the good message.
Yeah, but they got so screwed up that Bob Saget, like they couldn't even let the kids hang out with that guy.
But Danny Tanner is immaculate. Danny Tanner though, he's the perfect father, regardless of what Bob had going on. Rest in peace. Danny Tanner, America's father, man.
So you're talking about the character
versus
persona.
Bob's got a great dirty mouth on him. It was nice to discover that, but Danny Tanner.
Somebody called him a raunchy. That was the word, and kind of raunchy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, with the comedy, right? So you followed his comedy too.
Well, it's interesting because he was kind of known for being a dirty comic, and then he accepted the offer for Full House at a desperate moment.
Jeff Franklin from Producer.
He just had his kid, and he took it, and then boom! Next thing you know, he becomes an icon as America's dad.
Okay, what was the name of the band where there's a music video with the guy on fire running in slow motion in a music video? Slow motion, he's on fire, and the name of the band.
It's got to be 90s. But
it is from the 90s in your old school generation.
Once again, I immediately recognize this image, and it's going to irritate the hell out of me because I wanted to get all these right.
Okay, so no, that's pretty cool. Like you nailed like 75%, but 2 of them I kind of got you. So
slow motion and fire down the street. See, there's a Jedi Mind Tricks album cover where a dude's on fire and he's running. I know it's not that because that's also like late or early 2000s.
It's not. That's not 90s enough. I'll give you a hint. They played it on Beavis and Butthead.
There's way too many.
Yeah, there's because they play like all the cult. That show is like a cult with the introducing people.
I'm not gonna get it. I have the image in my head, but I'm not. I feel stupid. When
okay,
you say
the name of the band is Wax.
Okay, I wouldn't have gotten that.
I remember that the guitar lick is like, and then you see a guy with just the leg on fire, and the camera kind of zooms out or pans out, and his whole body's on fire, kind of like the Rage Against the Machine.
That's the other thing I thought of when you mentioned that.
That's when I was telling people the Rage Against the Machine cover, like I didn't believe that really happened when I saw the the famous photograph. I mean, I'm not from that old generation when that came out with the Kennedy and everything. So I thought MTV made that up when that came out. And I was like, there's no way the guy set himself on fire. But then
Real shit.
And then now I study is
Now
like,
you know.
that was Quan Duc, the monk that set himself on fire, and that's the same.
And he did all that just so that Rage Against the Machine could have a kick-ass album cover. All that for Rage. Give it up for him, people.
Yeah, so I think I'd definitely prefer the Rage Against the Machine over that Wax band. I didn't even think.
Oh, especially the first Rage album. Come on, first Rage album is a straight up classic.
Well, they had the music and the vision, like even the Evil Empire album cover. I mean, that's iconic too, with the picture of like that was good too, as far as the vision too. So, okay, man. So we're gonna get into your journey now.
Oh,
so like,
trivia's over, folks. The trivia's over.
Yeah. So like okay, you're from New Jersey originally, but you've been, I consider you like an Angelino by now if you've been in LA for 10 years, but you've been here for 17 years.
I think that it was 2007.
I gave you a compliment, so I'm not like,
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, you are a survivor. So
I love LA, and it's nice to actually be considered that. So I moved out here in 2007. So yeah, 2017 was 10. So 20 was 17 years this year.
Wow, yeah, congratulations. That's a big deal. Like I've seen people, you know, it's not for them. They move back. I mean, that's their life.
I love it.
So
it's tough, but I love it.
Yeah. So New Jersey. Let's go back a little bit. You were a stand-up comedian in New Jersey and New York too, or some shows in New York.
There was a place called the Stress Factory. Shout out to the Stress Factory in New Brunswick, which is like 5 minutes down the road from where I grew up. It was really close to where I was going to college. I heard they had an open mic night. I was curious. I think I went the first week to just watch as an observer, and then I went up and started doing things there. And I think the Stress Factory gave me the confidence to go into New York and start running around New York City, probably around, I want to say 2005, 2006. I did that for about a year and a half, and that was the first thing that kicked off the entertainment chasing, was running around the Big Apple by myself like Kevin McAllister. See, tying it into the Home Alone. And
did you have any homies that you did some stand up with?
Oh yeah, dude, I got two good friends I'm still in contact with now. Actually, one of them does.
Was that guy Matt Linick?
Matt Linick is a Jersey friend, but he's not a comedy friend. Matt Linick is actually my oldest friend in the world. He grew up down the street.
He was more Actually, he did photography on my album. We'll get into that later.
He does do photography. I forgot about that.
That picture of the kid.
No, Matt Linick's an old childhood friend of mine. Actually, funnily enough, another Matt, my buddy Matt Sky, who I still talk to, I met in New York, and my other buddy Tim Warner. Shout out both of them. We both keep in contact with both still, and just really good friends. I met on the stand-up. Tim is actually still out there doing his thing. Matt, gets out when he can, but so made some lasting friends from it, as I tend to do from these ventures.
So your early stand-up thing, I mean, most people people say I should get up there and get on the mic and be like, you said I should do it, but I never
understand.
Know.
Yeah, you're very animated. You're very naturally animated when you storytell. You naturally slip into the character you're doing. That's why.
Yeah, but what's it like when you get up there? Do you have material before you go up there, or do you just grab the mic and just kind of jack off, or what do you do?
Here's the thing. In fact, that's funny you said grab the mic and jack off.
Actually, before you listen, this is explicit. This episode is explicit. If you have a kid, just turn it off.
Yeah. Not like bitch ass Gabriel who's not cursing anymore.
This guy likes to cuss. So yes.
So it's funny you say that, because I say I did stand up, and yes, I was running around stand up clubs and open mics, and I did have times where I did bits too, but I would do a lot of fuckery. I would do a lot of screwing around, a lot of just screaming at people, a lot of the kind of stuff that I would end up doing with Master Clown Shrooms later. So
did you get on the floor and have a seizure and kind of like?
I think I did stuff like that. Yeah, I was I was having the time of my life. It was like fresh. I was in New York, and I didn't have the patience. Tim, speaking to my buddy, was like, dude, you got to start writing bits. You got to do material. Why don't you write your shit down? But I would do a lot of weird fuckery stuff to mess with the audience, or like at the Stress Factory, actually, I went to sleep on stage. Just brought out a blanket and crashed up there.
What time was it when you did that? Like
this must have been 2004.
No, but I mean, was it 2:00 in the morning? Because I heard sometimes like.
No, this was. I think the open mic started around 8. Me and you have done some 2 a.m. shows. I feel like I did more 2 a.m. shows as a rapper than as a comedian. You definitely get those late night comedy shows where there's like 80 comedians on, but I feel like me and you ended up with more like, oh God, late night rap shows and hip hop shows. Because I would do a lot of open mics, and they were a lot earlier in the evening. But yeah, man.
You didn't really like write your skits down as much as
to a degree. To a degree, I still have to see what real, true, like write out, try material stand up is. I was doing a lot of just wacky, weird stuff. I did do some bits that I repeated and tried to work out.
Was it some kind of like some self-deprecating? What's it called? Self-depreciation.
It's always.
and it
Always
was kind of,
self-deprecating,
and
yeah.
so it was kind of, that whole scene was kind of depressing. You want to say something about that? It was a bunch of like
there was
swollen.
a line on one of my songs about that.
Yeah, that's where I got that
A
from.
bunch
So
of white losers
yeah,
talking about hating life.
yeah, a
Might
bunch
be
of
depressing, but
suburban,
you know
like
I'm
they,
white.
yeah, they pretty much got it made, and they get up there like,
Well, you know, stand-up comedy in general is kind of a medium to mock yourself, make fun of yourself. It doesn't really take to cool types as much as like the rock star or the music does. So yeah, you do get a lot of like, I can't get laid, I don't get girls, I'm depressed, I'm kind of weird. I come across like and it's fine to do that, but it's just that when you see like an endless amount of open mics, it's like, damn, everyone keeps saying the same fucking thing.
That's
like,
why I think black people are better at stand-up comedy.
I mean, look, dude.
Just look at
three of my all-time favorites:
Yeah,
the
like-
GOAT, Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Patrice O'Neal.
Yeah,
Shout
I
out, rest
think
in peace.
I think they
Patrice.
kill it. I'm just like, it sounds like I'm stereotyping or something, but they just like, even Boo Heft, the guy that Gabriel rapped with, he does stand-up too. Did you know that? Have you seen his? Yeah.
No, Boo Capone, or was it
Boo
both
Capone.
nicknames? Was it both nicknames? I remember Boo Capone. Was it also Boo?
Hey,
Heft?
forgive me if I'm messed up his name or something. I think it was.
It
either-
might just be two
yeah,
nicknames, but definitely Boo Capone. I know what you're talking about.
But then some guys kill. Like, I mean, not everybody likes Jerry Seinfeld and that style.
Who are
It's-
these people?
Yeah, but you got to give him his style is like, what am I trying to say? It's
Iconic. He had a huge place.
The
in stand-up
observational,
Yeah.
So then you have that, and then you have like guys like Robin Williams, and then
comedy. It is funny
it's
though.
a big field, it's a big ocean, it's like hip hop. So it's,
The whites do tend to do more of the I'm a loser shit, don't they? That is kind of a white thing. Hi everyone, I'm a loser and I don't fucking know. But yeah, I feel you on the. So like I said, some of my favorites.
But I want to ask you, like, what's one of your best shows though? As far
Oh,
as,
I
like-
remember stand-up you're talking about?
Yeah.
I remember exactly because I don't know if you know because you haven't been in the stand-up world. There's a thing called the bringer show. Bringer show.
Bring it on, or what? Like,
Like bringer show means bring people, and then if you actually do bring a good amount of people, they'll give you a better spot in the show. So it's a chance for like amateur comedians to actually get a good spot in front of an actual audience. Since oftentimes, you know, like us with the hip hop, we were going on 2 a.m. in front of like 5 people. So I remember I had a bringer show where I think I ended up bringing like mom, dad, my buddies. He brought his friends. I must have had like 13 people. I think it filled a whole table. So the guy that ran it was like, oh, dude, you brought an actual good crowd. I'm going to give you a nice spot in the middle of it. I went up when the audience was actually full. I think every joke I did worked. The audience was actually with me and laughing.
the whole vibe worked on that show.
Everything clicked. I even got a little bit of money because I brought a decent amount of people.
Yeah, that's good.
So I always think back, and I used to get shows filmed, but not that one. I think Mateo, because you know Mateo's like you, dude. He archives everything. I think Mateo somewhere has a clip of me in New York doing stand-up. But this one I'm telling you about.
Yeah, but where do you get that from? This before you knew
they'll
him.
They'll film it too. They'll film it for you. Yeah, I didn't even know Mateo.
Oh,
back
okay,
then,
he
but
could like split it and edit it. Like,
I think he put it on a disc, or it was on a disc, but he put it on the computer. But I don't have a tape of that show. I always think back and I'm like, damn, I feel like there was an actual packed crowd and they were actually with me. So I wish I had that on film.
And did you wear like a tie on stage, or?
Oh no, I probably had like I probably had some Pac Sun shit on, some Pacific Sun wear.
Yeah,
because it was like we're talking about early 2000s.
So when you decided to move to LA, you were talking with Matthew or something, or did you kind of like sit down and be like, this and working in New Jersey, or how did that come about though?
You know, I was 24 and I'd been in the same radius of things my whole life. So like all my schools and my first jobs and my friends, everything was kind of like in the same circle.
Like Wegmans supermarket. And all
yeah,
that.
friggin' in Bridgewater, New Jersey, Wegmans supermarket.
So he comes from like a quaint kind of
Franklin Township. Yeah. I think at one point we were voted the best city in America to live in. I remember there was a list of it. And
in that suite, mommy.
We were special. We were special. But yeah, man, I was getting sick. I was getting sick of it because I've always been there, and I had a couple good friends who up and moved out to Cali. So I was like, well, shit.
And who was that? Like
my boy Jason Chernowitz came out here first. But he was always he was a military dude, and he was always hopping around to places. But my good friends, Eric and Lisa, a married couple, they moved out. And I think me and Matthew were kind of like, damn, if they can do it, we can do it. So it was very spontaneous. It was the most spontaneous things we've ever done in our life. We just shoved everything in the back seat of the car, literally everything we own, and just trekked out across the country.
You guys had enough money, or?
We saved up about $7,000, I think it was, when we left. We started burning through that very fast on the road trip. But we actually pulled together and saved up.
How was that road trip? Was it bitching or like,
Fucking bitching, man. It was great,
so
dude.
Something happened on that road trip. You had a trapper keeper full of CDs, and then you're at the gas station. You thought you were so cool, and you drive off.
Dude,
and
I
you
had
lost all your CDs.
Big ass one of those zipper wallets. Literally every CD. We're talking about from the days of buying the first Korn album all the way up to friggin' whenever I left in 2007. Every CD in one big, thick CD wallet.
Did you have the Life is Peachy album, or did you have?
Yes, Malcolm. Yes, I had the Life is Peachy album. I had everything I'd ever bought CD-wise in this thing, and I don't even remember. It must have been something like I left it on the roof, but one day we hop in, and I'm like, yo, what should we play? Grab the CD wallet, and the friggin' thing is gone.
Yeah, that sucks.
And my heart, Malcolm.
Oh.
So I never went back to a physical CD collection after that just because it was so heartbreaking to have every CD you've ever bought ripped away from you.
And so you went from New Jersey all across country, like to the difference through the Midwest.
We took the
Illinois,
northern route. We stopped at the Mall of America in Minnesota.
Mall of America.
It's like the world
mini mall, or what's
massive.
Up?
The world's biggest mall. They got roller coasters and aquariums in there.
Well, I'll stay away from there then.
I love mall wandering, and it was it was so long ago. I have like loose memories of it.
Mall rats in there, or what's up?
We were trying to be the mall rats, but yeah, I remember wandering around Mall of America in Minnesota. We stopped at the Grand Canyon, stopped at Mount Rushmore. Yeah, took the north. I still have not take the southern route across the country. I took the northern route.
Okay, well, there's time to do that.
There is. Malcolm Tyler would say there is time.
Yeah. So then you get to L.A. and it's a different world. Like you got palm trees, and you got.
I still love the palm trees.
Because I know what it's like to drive across the country. Maybe it's been 8 times for me or something.
Wow.
And yeah, something like that. So when you get to LA, it's like it's fast paced. It's like, oh, we're here. So what's going on in your head, man? What were you thinking, man?
I remember the very first day, the first hour, we didn't know where to go. I had a GPS our parents brought us to get across the country.
Was it the Garmin thing, right?
That's exactly right. That's exactly E.T. finger touch. It's exactly right. It was the Garmin, I believe, and we didn't know where to go. So I'm like, okay, the Grauman's Chinese Theater. That's L.A. That's Hollywood, right?
What's that? Grauman?
The Grauman's Chinese Theater on Hollywood Boulevard.
I know the Egyptian theater is the huge screen, like on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yes.
The Grauman one. Okay, you got the Ripley's, the tourist shit over there, but.
Right by the
Hollywood and Highland, or what?
It's right there with the handprints in front, and they have the whole big Grauman's Chinese Theater. It's iconic. It's right by.
I've seen it before, of course, but yeah.
So we anyway. Point being, we typed in that in the GPS just because we didn't know where else to go.
Are you serious? Like you typed?
I didn't know LA, dude. So I was like, how do we get to what LA is? So we typed.
But you had 2 friends here, or they left?
No, they weren't in LA. They were up north.
You're talking about like, they did it. I'm going to do it.
Well, they moved to Cali. They moved to Northern Cali.
Oh, okay.
Difference I know from SoCal, but yeah, they moved to Cali, but NorCal. So we were alone in LA. So I remember.
Crazy. So you don't even know anybody. And
no, this is probably the best thing. The most spontaneous and just let's do it type thing I've ever done.
What Matthew say? Like, I don't know about this shit, man. Like, what?
Matthew had a little bit more difficult time with it because he's not as much of a spacey moron as I am. So he had a couple moments, my brother Matthew, when he was freaking out of like, how's this going to work, or where are we going to stay? Do we have the money? But I don't know, dude. I was always just happy to be out here. I remember walking down Hollywood Boulevard that first day, just like
kind of exhilarating.
I want to announce I'm here. I had that thought in my head. I'm like, I want to announce that I'm here. Can I step on a stage and be like, I've arrived in LA?
Yeah, this guy's a real enthusiast. His strong point is he's real enthusiastic, and he gets his message across out there. So
I try.
So how do you find your first apartment, though? I'm being kind of practical right now. Like, how the hell? How do you find that place? It's hard to find an apartment out here.
No, my bitch ass owes 100% to this gentleman. I've given him a shout out on my Jam of Jams because we covered one of the movies he produced. But this gentleman, Gary LeConte, my stepmom's cousin, who's now gone, rest in peace. My stepmom's cousin Al set us up with a couple different connections that he knew out here because he'd made an indie movie before and had a couple names. So he hooks us up with this guy, Gary LeConte, produced a couple movies, but Gary was mostly a music producer. And I don't know, he's an older gentleman, probably about our dad's age. I don't know if he just kind of looked at us and saw 2 kids like his sons. He's like, oh, they're clearly out here. Let me help them out. But we were originally going to move into his spot that he had in NoHo, the spot
like near where I used to live.
Eventually became the Conrad spot. So picture 2 doors down from the spot we were in with Conrad. We were supposed to move into
the one
there.
past the 7-Eleven and you turn right, or
exactly
then,
right. So Gary lived, I think, 2 doors down. He was going to give us his place, but he had this bum-ass roommate that wasn't moving out. I still remember his name. I think it was Roger. And he was going to let us take over his place, but Roger was not moving. So bless Gary's heart, he says, hey, the family 2 doors down is building a back house they want to rent out to get some more money. I signed you guys up for it. All you got to do is come out here and sign the lease. Dude literally set it all up. We were staying with our friends in NorCal to save up some money so we would have, because we blew through it on the road trip. So we went back up there for a while.
You were near San Francisco, or you
around, let's say like maybe an
Fresno
hour outside of, I think the towns were Vacaville. And funnily enough, I told you this, a buddy of mine lived in Rosemead in NorCal, because you said Rosemead.
Oh, there's a Rosemead.
No, Roseville.
Okay.
Roseville.
And then there's Santa Rosa, is where they filmed Shadow of a Doubt. It was known as Hitchcock's favorite film in 1948.
I did not know that.
That's more kind of film noirs, Joseph Cotton. And yeah, but back to, you were in NorCal.
So,
and you got lucky, and then...
So Gary calls us up and he's like, hey man, I set up this place for you, and all you got to do is come down and sign it. And me and Matthew went in there, quickly realized how tough it was going to be to make the payments, so we were looking for a third roommate. Conrad Lawson, coming full circle to shouting him out, hits me up on Craigslist. I think I met him at a Safeway. We politicked a little bit back and forth about the comedy. No, that's what it was. Conrad was putting out stuff for a sketch comedy troupe he wanted to do, and I responded to that. We were talking back and forth about Kids in the Hall and other comedy troupes he liked, and I really clicked, so I brought him back to the house. And then when Matthew met him, we were both kind of like, yo, this dude is cool as fuck. What do you think about him moving in? And that's how the Conrad house happened. I forgot that. It wasn't, we met up because of a Craigslist ad about making sketch comedy. And then we were just like, yo, what if he becomes the roommate? Because as you said, Conrad is kind of cool as fuck.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I knew that it was like a Craigslist. Like you meet people through the comedy, the mutual common thing that you have with comedy, and get sketches too, Mateo, and you guys.
Oh, dude, yeah, two of my biggest, most lasting, meaningful friends I met out here, Conrad and Mateo, literally through Craigslist ads for comedy. So,
yeah,
Craigslist, baby.
Yeah, the only thing about Craigslist now is you can't. They took actually when Trump was president, you can't get girls on there anymore.
Why?
Can't, with that casual encounter.
I thought that was the whole point of it.
Yeah, the connection. Like you can't go on there for that anymore. And it stayed like that. But I mean, you can talk to people in there as far as it's called what's it called, like a mutual misconnection or
misconnection. I saw you in the Ralphs. You were wearing pink shorts.
Something like that. But you can get on there and talk about if you're into music, and it's a whole thread. What's it called? A thread of stuff.
You mean find people who like the same music as you do?
Yeah, like that. So anyway, you found Mateo on there, and then you guys started working together on some skits and stuff, right?
Yeah, Mateo, I'd actually responded to an ad for another guy whose stage name was Random Vaughn, and he put the ad out. Me and Mateo both responded to that, and same thing, like, I think he was driving me back one day, and he knew I was like a broke-ass kid out here. He's like, hey, you want a sandwich? You come by my place. And I walk in, and of course, Mateo's is the palace of DVDs, just DVDs wall to wall. So I was like, holy shit. And I introduced Matthew to him, and same thing, we all clicked. So eventually we started working together. It's all very natural and organic. Thank you, Craigslist.
Yeah. Hey, man, if you get along, I mean, there's good people in there, too. So Mateo's an awesome guy, so he knows what he's doing.
Mateo's the backbone. I wouldn't survive. Shout out Mateo, too, because I wouldn't survive in L.A. without his help.
Yeah,
no way in hell. We're
going to talk about more him later, but the job at John's, okay, was that the first job, or was it before?
Nah, dude, okay.
Or did you do something else?
If you want to get technical, there's a place on La Cienega called Vito's Pizza. We worked there for about 2 weeks until we realized the money was just running out, and that's when we went back up north to kind of stay with our friends rent-free and save up some money, get our savings back. So technically, the first LA job, 2 weeks at Vito's Pizza in La Cienega. But when I got situated in the Conrad house, yes, the first job was the immortal John's Marketplace, and that's where I met this life-changing gentleman that I'm speaking to.
Okay, but
now.
you were there for like a year before you met me, or it was 2000?
I? Okay,
yeah,
so,
no, I mean I came in 2008, but it was Yeah, 2008. But you were already here in 2000.
I arrived. I think I started working at
It's
John's.
whatever. It's just probably 3 months or so.
Christmas 2007 because I lied to Mike and I told him I had already booked plane tickets for a hot trip back for Christmas so I could get Christmas off. So yes, it was 2007. So if you got there in 2000,
no, I mean, I moved back to LA in 2008, and then I didn't work for a couple months, and I kind of went through some money, whatever, some stupid stuff, and then I was staying with my stepdad in North Hollywood, like Lankershim and Magnolia, and that Arts NoHo crap and Arts District, and then well, Malcolm, you need to get a job, and I mean, we're gonna run out of money in here. And I shipped off all my speakers, amplifiers. There was like,
oh no, not the music.
No, there was no. I mean, I shipped all that stuff there from like Florence, and then it was 10.
Oh, you shipped
so there's 10 boxes in that room. Like he's the one that found the apartment. And he's like, Malcolm, I mean, there's 10 boxes here. So he was bitching about all the stuff in there.
Surrounded by music equipment.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of stupid. It had the PA system. We only used it. No, we did use that for the rap stuff. So anyway, later on. I get a job at John's, and I'm working and. Didn't meet you until maybe 1 or 2 weeks later, but Gabriel, I met him first. And then,
yeah, you and Gabe would call me when
yeah.
you were hanging out. You'd leave me voice messages when you guys were kicking it.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Okay, when I met you, it was in the break room at John's, and the first thing we were talking about is what?
The blood on the door?
No, we weren't even talking about that
wasn't
yet.
that yet? No, what was it about?
The first thing we're talking about is sitting there bitching about the Raekwon album, Cuban Link Part 2, and then...
Was that what it was?
So I had a different impression of you when I met you. It was more of like... It was kind of like, this guy's like a tough guy from New Jersey. It wasn't... Yeah, so because you were like... So we were talking about rap or something, right? And I was like, yeah, this the Raekwon, the Cuban Link Part 2 is going to come out. And you're like, yeah, they've been saying that shit for like 5 years. It still hadn't fucking come out. And I thought it was like, I was thinking like, this guy's like New Jersey, East Coast. And it wasn't like the wacky, like funny. It wasn't like that, Jason. It was more of like, whatever.
Huh, I don't remember that. Sad to say.
And so it was like this shitty break room, like this big, and
oh yeah, that break room was small. What the hell, dude? Literally, that break room was like a fourth of the size of this motel room. No joke.
Yeah,
a fourth of the size of this motel room. There was enough room for maybe 3 people to sit at a table.
Yeah, people used to just try to like, can I sit right here?
You walk in, you see 2 motherfuckers in there. You're like, oh, guess I'm going somewhere else for break.
Yeah. So anyway, so I started working with you guys, and then like meet everybody later on. Met Conrad, and we all started hanging out. And the rapping thing didn't come until like a few months later, though. So yeah,
changed my life, man. Listen,
yeah,
literally, you're the only reason for the entire section of my life on rapping. So back home, I was utterly obsessed with hip hop, and I would whisper rap to myself in the corner, literally my face in a corner, so that no one would see me whisper rapping. I was terrified of doing it. I loved it. I was obsessed with it. I would never do it though. And then Malcolm Tyler walks up like, "Hey man, you want to do a verse on the album?"
Yeah. So I was really into hip hop when I moved back to LA, and everybody at that store listened to a lot of rap, and nobody listened like that much metal. So it was more of, it just kind of came together naturally. So then Jesse made a bunch of, he was producing, like the White Boys with Attitude, and then he made some stuff for me. And then it came into like,
what a fucking amazing producer.
Yeah, so
what
like,
an amazing producer.
What happened, I already had the album Mr. Tyler's Neighborhood, Death, Children Music. That was my first album. So then we're talking about making like I was signed to a record label called Trash Can Music.
Yeah,
with
Big Tone.
Big Tone, and he lived on the other side of like Santa Monica, and his bitch ass lived over there in like Mar Vista, right, with all the other wimps that lived there and lived with their dad in his own studio, right? So then Jesse's like, "Hey, I made some beats. Here's some beats. Like, you should go to the studio and write some lyrics, And then I wanted to do like a Wu-Tang thing and get everybody together. Here's everybody like that worked at the store, and nobody really had experience rapping except for John. And then I was like, let's get Jason on there. So he was on a song called "Kill Your Kid."
KYK. Dude gave me like a 2-minute verse.
Yeah.
2 straight minutes.
So then I go to his room. He has a poster of like Uncle Joey on his wall.
Oh yeah, the friggin' Joey Gladstone in the captain's hat.
And then he spits the verse. It's like, okay, that's sick, right? So then we go to this studio, and it was this vegan kid that I met through actually because I was in this band, like a power violence crust punk band or something, underground shit, and I played bass. It didn't work out. I was trying to get kicked out of the band, and they didn't kick me out, and it ended up flipping out at band practice, whatever. So then the this engineer that I heard of, a band that we were supposed to play with called Arctic Choke. Like he recorded them, and then
They're called Hard Dick Choke.
No, Arctic.
I know. Just
yeah. Hey, I
supposed to play with this band Hard Dick Choke.
Hey, I think they heard you like next door because of this like motel. So they're like, "What? Okay, yeah, we're doing that too over there. Like, we already beat you to the job over here.
We're doing the same thing, kid.
Yes.
We're all just in here beating our dicks."
So then he recorded them, and then I hit him up, and he said, "Hey man, do you know Arctic Choke?" And I didn't really know them. I just like heard of him. Like I talked to them on email or whatever, and I said, actually. We ended all up there with all that fuck the studio stuff.
Fuck the studio.
So then I heard about him through some other punk band or something. So then like, we were looking for a place to record, and it was in this industrial area by downtown LA or something. I forget like where it is exactly, but I dragged like Jason and Gabriel there, and then Gabriel's like his name was Nameless or something, or
no, that was me originally, and Gabe.
No, he was Shrooms, or
he was Shrooms originally before.
And
I
he
took
was the
name.
one. He said
he was tired.
He said fuck the studio. Let's go to the liquor store. And then I'm like 100% serious as a heart attack. I'm like fuck the studio.
I'm paying for this.
So anyway, we recorded some dope tracks at that session, and we had to keep on going back until like most of the stuff was recorded with him. Anyway, yeah, so Jason was on 2 songs and like 1 skit on my first album, and that was a great experience. So.
Changed my life.
Yeah, but see, after that, you had like a whole rap career, right? So we can talk about Master Clown. His name was Shrooms, and then Master Clown Shrooms.
Master Clown Shrooms, my God. Yeah, dude. When you opened the floodgates, dude, because like I said, I wanted to do it so bad, and you just, you're nervous. I'm like some little white boy from the suburbs, and then all of a sudden, I see Malcolm come up. And he's like this crazy, wild Southern boy just going for it, doing an album. And I was like, well, he's just like a weird white boy like you. If this dude's going to do it, what fucking excuse do you have? So I did that verse, dude. I think there was like a 2-minute verse. We did the other one. It was a shorter one. But I did the first song, School Sucks, with the friggin' Vitamin C instrumental from the graduation Vitamin C song.
Yeah,
that was the first Shroom solo song.
And then that was with Tony, and I met him, and we clicked, and he was recording me with the Mounty Mountains.
Yeah, Tone Antonio Gautama Valles.
Shout out to Tony. So, so you had like a couple of EPs and recorded with different engineers, and had different producers produce your stuff, and like a whole rap career. You were in music videos. You had so let's just get into that real quick.
It was like the floodgates open, man. Like it was just
the first album's called Modest Beginnings.
Modest Beginnings, a pathetic attempt at rap music.
I'm looking at the CD right now.
Malcolm Tyler's the only. He freaking printed out a physical copy of this. He made his own physical copy of my first album.
So we had a song called Just Another Day, and it's me and Gabriel and him, and then we had like Blood on the Dance Floor.
Dude, literally recorded in the closet at Tony's. I would have to push aside his clothes, step in between them, and that was our mic booth to record that first album. Yeah, man, it was an absolute blast, and like we had the camp there, so like everyone was available to either get on tracks or be a producer. I had freaking Rich, Moth Beats, Jess, Anonymous, Paul McNasty, whichever one he was going by. Yeah. Really top quality people just giving me beats. I was always very spoiled that I always had people giving me solid ass beats.
So you worked a lot with like Jesse, Anonymous, and Moth, like those 2 guys, but you did an EP with Mateo's brother too. So
yes, I did.
And what's his name? Like Black Tuxedo?
Midnight Tuxedo. Yeah, damn, I forget about some of the stuff you're bringing up, dude. I guess I did put a decent amount of stuff out. It's just, sometimes you feel like you didn't get anywhere with it. But
no, it doesn't even matter because you got all this soul legacy, so yeah.
Dude, the crazy thing is, like, it's literally a whole chunk of my life that I never thought would happen. Like, I came out here, I thought I would probably do some writing. I thought I might do some acting. I, of course, thought I would do stand-up because I was doing that in New York, but I never thought I would be a rapper. So now I have 7 years of my life in SoCal running around being a rapper in a robe and a Flavor Flav pendant, being named Master Clown Shroom.
Yeah, so he had
it's entirely because of you, man.
Yeah, so he had a mushroom, like a shroom robe, and then it's like a whole character kind of thing going
on.
Long hair.
Eventually, what it became was the long hair, the shades, the friggin'. I had speaking of Jason Chernowitz that I mentioned, who moved out to Cali. He's got a friggin' steel welding shop, so we had a machine carve out the giant Master Clown pendant. I had that hanging around my neck, just worsening my friggin' scoliosis. I had the long bathrobe. some Miley Cyrus t-shirts, some Chucks, and some ball shorts.
Yeah, you had
and
his own gear and everything.
Just
and,
a 7-year dive bar tour, man. Just running around screaming on motherfuckers.
And then I wanted to ask you, what was like? I'm a huge Kurt Cobain fan too. So how was that influence on you as far as like being a rapper? Like Nirvana,
I remember
and Kurt Cobain worshiping like Kurt Cobain, and then he had all that like the lyrics and everything.
Yeah, dude. I remember there was one song with Harry and Shaw, Sin Fresh.
Yeah, and he came out of nowhere. He's like, hip hop's Kurt Cobain.
Yeah,
and I'm
that's
like,
what
fuck this guy.
That's what it was. And I was like, okay, like you're not. I loved rap, dude. Obviously, to do it, I was fucking obsessed with it. I fell in love with it. But yeah, like when I was growing up, we were like those little fucking shitbags that were like, fuck rap. You can't spell crap without rap. It's fucking about rock and Deftones and corn, bro. So
somewhat, man, but we liked a lot of hip hop too.
But I'm saying when I was a kid in school, we were in like 7th, 8th, even 9th grade, we were like, fuck rap. So yeah, man, I thought of how big of an influence Kurt was and how it was rapping, and I was like, well, what if I try to combine them? That might be kind of interesting.
Yeah, it was in the certain like aspect, and
like because Kurt is so the opposite of like the dick grabbing braggadocio, the fuck you, the guns and bitches that rap is. And I feel like as rap went on from the time when we were doing it, there like became a lot more like weirdo, emo, softer, like artsy rappers. And it's not as crazy now to think of like a Kurt Cobain type rapper. But yeah, at the time I was like, can I make something unique out of kind of being like this long-haired rocker dude that now switched to like friggin' loving rap? And I got to say, man, I always got good reactions. People always came up after shows and seemed to enjoy it. Always very positive reactions. So...
And you got a lot of love from the black community too, right? Like, cause
I did, yeah.
This guy had an album called like God Hates White Rappers, right? So one time we played a show at the Whiskey, and I'm just like watching the show, just like standing next to some guy, and he said, "Hey, yo, my new album's called God Hates White Rappers," and then this black guy says like, "Did he just say like his album's called God Hates White Rappers?"
I didn't know this story.
No, and then I said, "Yes, he's fucking crazy, man." Yeah.
I did not know that. That's awesome.
The Whiskey.
That's fucking great.
But you meet a lot of cool people after the show that give you props. Like, hey, I can tell like I like your lyrics, and
dude,
I can tell you put time into what you're doing.
After show feedback was amazing. Sometimes I would be like, "Who paid you people to stroke off my ego? There's no way you're just saying this." Like very very positive reactions.
And of course, people hate you too, but that's why you do it. It's like I gotta have lovers, haters. And
I mean, dude, the funny thing was, unless like at least to my face, like no one came up and like fuck you really ever. Like it didn't happen.
Okay, one time you played a show, I forgot, it was the one where like Harry leased his car with his homie or something, and they all like leased the car to show off like, hey, I have a cool car.
Was that the video with the
it was. There's like so much to say that's not even going to fit.
Dude,
into this.
me and Mal have so much.
We need to make like a part 2 of this.
We are just like struggling right now, just trying to keep everything in line because me and this dude have so much friggin' history doing this out here. Like ever since we met, it should. Also, I gotta say, dude, this motherfucker right here is the best, most actually motivated, ambitious dream chaser who's never gonna fucking sit. This is a lesson I learned from Malcolm. Anyone that's listening to this probably already knows Mal, but this motherfucker will never be a lazy bitch ass fucking doing nothing. Talk about it, don't do it. If I learn one thing from being friends with Mal out here is he actually does shit. Every time I meet up with him, hey, I'm doing a podcast. Hey, I'm doing an album. Hey, I'm doing a comic book. Hey, I'm doing this. But you know what the point is? I'm fucking doing it. Malcolm will never just talk about it and not fucking do it. That's always what I've loved about you, man.
What? I'm going to take him out to eat for saying that on the podcast.
No,
like he knows.
No, seriously. That's real talk. That's not me even trying to big up a friend, dude. Like Malcolm has just never been the type to be like, he fucking hates the people that sit on their ass. He hates the laziness. And dude, I
used to like that more. I had more of like a hatred towards it like 10 years ago or something.
The meditation has helped. The Buddhism has worked wonders on my man. But Malcolm has always been about doing it.
We were always doing something, right? So then,
always some new venture.
No, like a story real quick is one time we played the show and then you played and then but there's some girls watching you. I don't think you saw them. There's like a group of there's like 3 girls all together. And there's this one black girl that just watched you, and if you saw her face, she was because you were like rolling on the floor, acting like making a fool of yourself, right? And she looked at you like, "Man, what the fuck is his problem?"
I would give anything to see that facial expression right now.
Yeah, and then
dude, you see the thing is you remember shit I don't because you're the guy in the audience listening to people when I'm up there.
No, sometimes the shows because I would play and he was like, yeah, that's what I'm doing is I'm watching everybody's fucking reaction when you go up there because I know you're about to like cut up stuffed animals on stage and like.
Yeah, dude. Fuck, what am I doing with my life? I gotta get back into Master Clown Shrooms. Jeez, I
That
used to be
was,
way cooler. What am I
If
doing
you don't
with
know
my
what it
life now?
was, it was a horror album, and it was more of hip hop, like death hip hop,
children music?
death hip hop. It was what it was. Okay.
Death Children Music by
Okay,
Malcolm.
so you, speaking of that, you did a song with Gore-Tex that was in Nonfiction with Necro in New York or something.
We never finished it.
So yeah, I want to ask you, did you ever?
We
You
never friggin' finished it. One of the
because I have the beat with him. His verse was sick, right? And then I want to have your verse on it. You never finished it.
You know what,
How
dude?
sorry is that, dude?
Okay, you know what? Truth. If
'Cause
anyone,
I'm a big fan of that song.
if anyone knew how big of a fan I was, Gore-Tex of Nonfiction out of New York, legendary underground group, also got Ill Bill in there. Some of these people for hip hop heads, I'm sure you know that name.
Necro
Gore-Tex
and,
just got this raspy voice, this weird subject matter, just got a sick like East Coast flow. I friggin' love the way Gore spits. He's always one of my favorites, even though I'm sure, I know a lot of people know Nonfiction, but if you say the name Gore-Tex, I don't know how many hip hop heads, garden variety hip hop heads know it, but I friggin' love Gore's style so much. This is really unique, berserk, kind of like a lo-fi 70s exploitation flick vibe to him. People who knew how much I love this dude and that I paid for a verse and then never, not to mention how sick Jess's beat was.
Yeah, the beat alone, dude.
How sick Jess's
and
beat was, as always.
There's a psycho sample of
How-
like Norman Bates in the.
How sick Gore sounds over it. So you know what? I take the hit. It's fucking stupid as hell. I did get a lot of stuff put out. We're looking at the physical ones. Mal brought a copy of the CDs I did finish, but that's one thing. I didn't finish the track. I never even wrote the verse. I don't know what it was, but at least we have.
Yeah, we all make mistakes,
At least we have Gore over Jess's beat, because you're right. It sounds fucking sick, dude.
Okay, back up a little bit. You wrote a book called Hollywood High School.
Malcolm Tyler was one of the first people to read it.
Yeah, so you rewrote it, or you
Oh,
wrote
dude.
it. It was a big deal. It was like, hey, I got this book. So-
Malcolm, I have not. There's nothing else in my life that I've put in this much actual consistent hard work over the years on. And funnily enough, as we record this podcast, a buddy of mine from AMC, who I like the way he thinks about art, he actually has it reading the most up-to-date version. So I am still friggin' trying to work this thing out, still tweaking it. The newest version, which I spent I went through 6 full go-throughs of the book during the pandemic when we were locked up. I took advantage of it. And
Tell everybody what the book's about, like,
right,
real
so
quick.
sorry,
It's
I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so the book is called Hollywood High School, and it is about a kid that is desperate to be famous, just fame for fame. He doesn't care about how he gets there, so he tries to, based on my experiences, he tries to go do open mics, he tries to do stand-up, but because he's just looking for attention, he fails horribly, he makes an ass out of himself, he brings up a homeless guy, he pays him to shit on the audience.
And he's a twisted, like, kind of kid.
He's a real twisted, fucking pathetic, narcissistic, vain, insecure little fucking nothing.
But
he's
it's
got
based on you, though, right?
Flawlessly done, Mr. Comedian over here. Yes, it's based on my bitch ass. So he eventually figures out, hey, he sees the way that the media has treated school shooters, and he figures, what if I shoot up the school literally as a way to get famous, like I was trying to do with the stand-up? He shoots it up, it works, he gets followers, it flames out for him. So this is kind of my take on like where I saw the media going when back in the Virginia Tech shooter in 2007, when I was at Wegmans that you mentioned.
Yeah.
I saw this dude get so much newspaper coverage for shooting up. He literally had manifestos that he was like, I want you to read these on the air. I want everyone to see these. And like newspapers are publishing his photo, publishing his manifestos in words. This is when I'm running around New York trying to get attention. And my brain was like, you could just friggin' kill people and they're going to immediately have to give you that media attention. That was the genesis of like, what if we followed through this idea and wrote a story about it where some kid actually does that? And like, I don't want.
It's real American.
It is real American, isn't it? It's American is a warm handgun in your lap. So the idea is basically just
because you're talking about fame and like the fame aspect and everything. And
fame and guns, man, fame and guns. So the whole idea was I wanted to write like a really vulgar, crazy novel, make it really good and like a roller coaster ride about some kid that decides to kill for fame. And it actually works. And ever since then, dude, I feel like it was very prophetic.
And I did some artwork for that for you. So we did have a collaboration with that.
My God,
it's
dude.
not just like hip hop. Like I got to do like some really like detailed artwork for
you.
them.
Really, truly did, dude. It was a Kurt Cobain, Bill Hicks, Jim Morrison, and Andy Kaufman, my 4 weirdo idols.
So he was getting high outside of his apartment or something, and he talked about that vision of the book insert, and I heard him, and I was like, hey, that sounds interesting, and I want to work on this too. So
and Malcolm fucking knocked it out of the park.
yeah. So Okay, we had a web series called American Graffitis with
That was the
Mateo.
first thing we did with Mateo. That was maybe
First
possibly
one.
the first
It
Majama
was like
product.
you and your brother Mateo.
Yeah.
And that had like what 20 episodes or 15 or
I want to say 13.
13 episodes.
Yeah.
And it was funny. He did the voices. And
Mateo
then,
figured out how to do some kind of base level animation. We did, a pun, American Graffitis, based on American Graffiti. These two fetus brothers, again, it was always the idea of trying to make some back and forth characters out of me and my brother Matthew. Two fetuses riding around in a hot rod, just kind of like a dumb 30-second, minute-long episodes. But yeah, that was the first effort to do some goofy shit with Mateo.
Okay, sorry, I got to cut you off. You're in a movie called Bad CGI Sharks. This guy's in a movie.
Yeah.
So
the world famous Bad
okay.
CGI Sharks.
This guy's in a real movie, like IMBD, professional movie. People watching in different countries. He like
big fan base in Japan.
Yeah, so he co-wrote it with his brother. It's a Majama film. They filmed it in Burbank. It's about them getting chased by sharks around Burbank, and then I know I'm doing a bad job of like,
No, you basically got all of it.
Okay,
That's the basic gist of it.
It's a low budget kind of cult film. I mean, the semi autobiographical, kind of wacky, kind of like, but I like how it had original elements. They had the family vibe put into it. It had substance. It's a good film. I did a little critique on it to piss you off or something, and yeah.
No, I appreciate you saying that, man. We wanted to make a dumb, goofy one. We also did want to have a little bit of substance. Like you said, we put some of our own life in it, kind of our struggle to be creative, kind of try to show the brothers they're desperate to be creative. They're losing as they grow up. This silly shark adventure.
It was well done. It was,
Thank you, man. I appreciate you saying that, Mal, especially with how artistic of a guy you are.
Yeah. Okay. And then, but that's a big deal. Just that you were in the movie, and
I'm incredibly proud that we actually pulled that off, dude. $6,000 budget, 21 days of shooting. We actually got that released, and like I said, I don't know how it happened, but we got a fan base in Japan. It's freaking crazy.
So, is there more of like a cult CGI fan base over there?
That's what I wonder, because
it's probably that.
All I can do, of course, is I see the people tweeting about it on Twitter, and we've gotten a ton of tweets like, "Oh my god, I love this movie" and stuff. But I never know just how known we are, because I remember one time there was a Japan Yahoo, the news site Yahoo. They had an article about us, and when I searched just on Twitter, it was just endlessly scrolling. All these people were sharing the Yahoo article about Bad CGI Sharks. So yeah, I do always wonder how exactly known the movie is there, but thanks to Twitter, I at least know that a ton of people have hit us up like, "Hey, dude, I friggin' love this movie."
And what year did it come out? Like 2016 or
18 or 2019? 2019, we had our limited release. Our distributor, SRS Cinema. Shout out SRS Cinema and Ron Bonk of SRS
Cinema. Shout out to Sheila.
Shout out to Sheila. 100%. Shout out to Sheila Marie, our producer, who helped us through this whole venture. Couldn't do it without her. Shout out to Ron Bonk, SRS Cinema. Took us, distribute us. So the first thing we did, and Mal appreciates this because bless your heart, Mal, you bought one. We had a limited edition Bad CGI Sharks VHS.
Okay.
We had a limited edition Blu-ray. Yeah. Those two came out with just like, I think it was 100 Blu-rays, 25 VHSs. We dropped those in 2019. Then our official wide release, when the thing was up on websites and stuff, was January 2020.
And the premiere in LA that I went to, that was in North Hollywood,
August 2019,
Lancashire,
at the Lemley in North Hollywood.
Okay. I mean, there's a lot to talk about with all this stuff. I'm trying to
it's a lot to get into an hour.
Okay, we went into like stand-up comedy, hip hop, CGI. I would like to talk about the movie more, but now you're on the Majama Critics film. He's a film critic, so
yes.
Majama.
Well, amateur.
He's a YouTube professional film critics at the apartment. So they're watching cult kind of like low budget, or
we do the weird low budget stuff, and we do the bigger stuff.
They do criticize like Thelma and Louise or something too. Or
we haven't gotten to Thelma and Louise yet, but we have done a lot of like anything from like a $5 weirdo one to like a big budget iconic one.
Yeah, so basically you're not limited, right?
We're not limited. We do take requests, by the way. So we wanted to do a second movie, but unfortunately, like I said, our movie dropped in January 2020. 2 months later, the whole friggin' world shuts down. Our team couldn't come back out because our team, shout out Emmy and Ali, are in, I think, Vietnam and Italy still. Our team is scattered throughout the world.
Well, who's in Vietnam?
Alessandro, our VFX guy that did all the actual Bad CGI Sharks, he's in Vietnam right now.
He did the special effect.
He did every single shark you see in the movie, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And our sound guy that did the original soundtrack, Emilio, is in Italy.
Yeah,
close to where Mateo lives.
I watched your interview about that. Yeah.
So we wanted to do movie number 2, but we got kind of cock-blocked by the COVID. We didn't know that was going to happen. So Mateo was like, "Hey, I got this idea for a movie review show. Why don't we do that? I can set it up. We can sit on the couch. We can break stuff down every
It sounds
week.
kind of like Mateo's like, why don't we do that?
Why don't we do that
Yeah,
instead?
like the tonality or something.
Right.
Yeah.
It's funny. Mateo literally doesn't even have an accent to me anymore because I've heard him speak for so long. But yeah, so now we have Majama Jams on YouTube where me and the dudes that did Bad CGI Sharks break down a different movie surrounded by lots of paper every week.
So you're kind of doing the family thing and you're criticizing movies when you don't even have a right to criticize these.
Hey, no one has a right to criticize movies. No, honestly, the philosophy of the show
Do you
was...
feel kind of weird doing that? Like to criticize?
Here's the thing. The philosophy of the show was once we'd made this movie, even just this cheap little $6,000 shark movie, we're like, okay, movies are really hard to make. They take a lot of effort. Even the biggest piece of shit movie you see took a lot of chunk out of someone's day. A lot of people had to work together. So we're like, knowing how hard it is to even do this little goofy, low-budget movie, let's do a show where if we hate a movie, we try to break down why we just don't talk shit. So I do think on the exact tip of like, don't you feel bad critiquing people, we always try. Yes, sometimes we have fun and we just dogpile and like, oh, this thing sucks.
So you
But
do
I
have
feel
a
like
respect for
we always try to break down. Let's talk about why. What do we think was wrong with the screenwriting, or what do we think could have done differently? So we try to always have a reason if we're trashing a movie of let's actually explain why we hated it, as opposed to just straight up like, yeah, they fucking suck. Because
that reminds me of battle rapping. Like, okay, you diss each other, but at the same time you respect each other for like working. You're working together.
You put the time in to insult that guy. Like it takes effort and research.
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
Right?
I mean, I know how hard it is to sit there and write a rap verse on my kitchen table.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
so imagine you got to spend like a month just
you have
dissecting someone's life.
Other people around you, like, oh, you have all that stuff to deal with. So that's an art form too.
Battle rap's crazy. I never did it, but a lot of respect
Mo,
for it.
what you just said about like being a film critic, that reminded me of that aspect of being a battle rapper, even though I haven't done those two things. So.
I mean, you got to show the respect, dude. Like I said, once you know how hard it is to get this shit done, like it's every shitty movie is still someone's blood, sweat, and tears. So we try to always give a reason why if we don't like the movie.
But you guys are down to make another Majama production.
All I want in life, dude. If we can get the team back together, I absolutely want to do a second movie, especially with how we've been blessed to find an actual audience for the first one. I would love to keep it going. It's just like I said, team's a little scattered internationally right now.
And you work with a lot of people, and you're known for like, I mean, you worked with Chris Tisa on something too, right? Like on the Niceville.
Oh wow, that never happened. But
I
yeah,
kind of want to bring that up a little bit. So.
My God, Chris Tisa, shout out Chris. He's back in his hometown of Florida. I don't know if we ever finished that script.
Did you collaborate with him on some stuff or what?
I think the most we did was we were trying to write that script together, Niceville, like you said. I don't think we ever finished that. We did put a good amount of time, dude. You make me realize, like, I've been blessed to, at least, like I said, the CDs and Sharks is actually out there. Thank God some stuff's actually out there.
Yeah, you got stuff to show for it.
My God, we've worked on so much stuff that hasn't come out, too. Like, the amount of stuff we've worked on that hasn't been able to, like, the albums or the friggin' the Chris Tisa script. Man, we've done a lot of
that's
fucking,
a blessing.
We've tried to do a lot of shit.
Just to be able to work with people that know what they're doing. Like, I mean, Tony, for example, or I don't know if you work with Binky Mac or something, or, I mean.
Binky did actually, funnily enough, I was just remember because I got the physical. Malcolm has physical CDs of mine that I don't even have. So on the back, I remembered we actually got Binky Mac to master the tracks for Pot and Our System. So it was recorded by our beloved Antonio Valles. But Binky Mac did the mastering, and that shit still sounds good to this day. So shout out Binky Mac for mastering my album. Binky Mac, who worked with Cube.
So we talked about some music and movies, like two of our passions, and the book and everything, and the whole time he's been doing this, he's worked his job at AMC theaters and the
AMC,
grocery store,
free movies, baby,
like Whole Foods, and
Let's do the breakdown. It was John's. Then we had about 10 seconds of Abercrombie and Fitch. Then we had
what a loser, man! Why'd you work there? Yeah,
the friggin' pumping in the gas.
Okay, this guy used to live in Hollywood too. Like that's when you
lived
in Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah. 1 year I lived.
1 year is too much.
I liked it because when I walked down to the 7-Eleven, which right by me, you just see the freak show. Like when you live in Hollywood, you walk down, you see the freak. In Burbank, dude, it's all old white people.
Yeah, but that's not for everybody too. So it'd be for you. But
it was for me.
Yeah,
at the time.
So I want to give a shout out to this man has a girlfriend, and to put up with his bullshit for like 6 years. I mean, I want to like give a shout out. 4 years.
Anyone who has to put up with me is really.
And your mom, that's a strong woman for having to put up with you for.
You're not wrong.
For that many years, and then.
He's not telling lies.
I knew I wanted to say that, and
I think we got the whole. We talked a little bit about it, but I think we got
we
everything.
We can keep on going, but we don't have that much more time.
Well, I'm saying I think you actually covered every. At least we touched a little bit on every aspect of it.
So this is season 1 of Los Angeles Chronicles, and you're welcome to come back season 2. And
I'd love to.
Yeah, I'm just seeing what happens, man. I'm still in my early stage. I want to talk about the podcast real quick. So this is the early stage. I want to give a shout out to Belgium because some people are listening up there.
What's up, Belgium?
Yeah, they're downloading in Belgium.
Is my voice being heard in Belgium right now? What's up?
Yeah, I can even prove it to you too. So, I want to
much love to anyone out there supporting my boy Bill. My God, it'd help if I could talk. Much love to anyone out there listening and supporting my boy Mal. Appreciate it.
So thanks, man. I want to say rest in peace to my man Ron. We worked with him at the John's Market.
And he was, Ron, the DJ.
Yeah,
right?
I want to say real quick, he was a really good guy. He's looking out for Gabriel, looking out for us, man. He was kind of like a big brother, you know. He was like, I've been through this and that, you know. He'd even like fix our computer or something.
How did he pass? I forget. Was it?
I don't know. I mean, I heard about it from John, and then we worked with him, and
dude, I can totally, I can picture him perfectly in my head. I completely.
And he was a good guy, and then we kind of lost touch with him after we didn't work with him anymore. So I want to say rest in peace to him. Rest in peace to my homegirl Felicia. I've known her since I was like 14, and then we were friends on Facebook, whatever. And then I don't know what I mean. I heard that she died like this year, and I didn't get to say that yet. So yeah, and Aunt Debbie, rest in peace. My aunt died like last month, and I couldn't make it to the funeral in South Carolina. So she was like my uncle's like ex-wife, but she was still like in the family and everything, and keeping in touch, and one of a kind. So, and then music recommendations. I want to say my boy Justin from Through the Eyes of the Dead, his remastered album, it's called The Scars of Annihilation. You can get it off of skepsisrecordings.com, and they remastered it with Jamie King in North Carolina. He's known for like a lot of metalcore, hardcore stuff. The guy's a legend around the area. We remastered it, so yeah, go ahead and pick that up. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel, Ninja Checkmate. Check me out on Spotify, Samsung Podcast. It's the dopest podcast in LA. And then what else? Another music recommendation is On Broken Wings. Some of us may never see the world. And yeah, they got mixed reviews. That band, you either like love them or hate them, but basically it's like Boston Mike Mosh, metalcore legends in Boston, you know. So yeah, film recommendation. Executioners from Shaolin. That's by the Shaw Brothers. It starts off kind of
art of shadow boxing.
Kind of a slow pace, and then they kill it. It gets better as you give it a chance. It's not the best one, but it's worth buying, and it's where the film sample from Tiger Style from Ain't Nothing to Fuck With. That's from that movie.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Mal with the kung fu knowledge.
Jason, any shout outs? I'm going to put some links into the description in the episode, and anything you want to say, I'm going to give the floor to you. So.
Absolutely. I need to shout out my boy that asked me on this. Malcolm, like I said, I literally would not have done any of my rap out here. Anything. Malcolm is 100% the reason Master Clown Shrooms exist. I will say that till my death. He is the 100% the reason I started rapping and have 7 years of my life joyfully. Shout out to this dude. I will always do anything he asks me to do. Any project I'm always happy to be a part of.
Hey, much love, man. So
shout out fucking the whole crew we were with, Eclectic Zoo. I know Gabe's probably going to listen to this. Gabe, I love you, man. I'm glad you're still in my life. Anyone in Eclectic Zoo who was there,
you were there. Doing his thing, yeah.
You were there for the best times of my life. Shout out Mateo. Wouldn't survive without you. My bro Matthew out here, my fucking fetus twin, literally, metaphorically. My mom for keeping my bitch ass crashing on her fucking floor because I fucking live there rent free.
You sound like when you open up the CD and you thank all the people. Like, right? You sound like that right now.
I'm trying not to. There's so many good people I need to thank, but let's just say all my people out here in LA, like Mal said, it's been 17 years I survived.
Yeah, it was good to kind of look back on that whole career.
I love anyone that was a part of this journey. I fucking love you. This has been the best time of my life. So anyone that helped out here in LA, man, if you haven't even listened to this, Jason loves you.
Yeah, and I'll put the link in the description for the Majama
Jams. New episodes every Thursday. Every single Thursday, a new episode drops.
Because that's shout out to YouTube. So that's going to be on YouTube, and I'll put thing on there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And so thanks for listening. You got anything else you want to say, or that's pretty much it?
We should still have we're going off of our label soon, but I believe we still have copies of Bad CGI Sharks for sale on DVD. We do still have a couple limited Blu-rays. If you guys want, I think we have the DVDs on sale for only $4.95. SRSCinemastore.com. Depending on when you listen to this, they may be down because our deal is up, but as of now, they should be up if you guys want to check out what the movie's about.
All right, so that's it for this episode. Thanks for listening, and thanks. Bye.